Hello everyone. It's James again. And today, I wanted to make a special video. One I've been planning to make for some time now. And a video I was also asked to make by some of my subscribers. One of them was Jerry, I believe. So here we go. As you can tell by the title of this video, we are going to talk about narcissism. And well, basically growing up in a narcissistically abusive home. And its connection to incest. Incest being both emotional and at times physical depending on your situation. The best way to illustrate this is for me to just tell you my story. Many of you know I grew up with a narcissist mother. My father was ran out of the house by my mother. And died shortly thereafter. Lots of family court. Lots of stress and strain put on my father and myself and my golden child brother. And soon after my father passed away. I believe due to the stress of the situation. However, during the time my father was alive, my mother did a lot of things to make us children afraid of my father. Making us think our father was going to kidnap us. And a lot of other crazy things I mentioned in past videos. She also love-bombed us with toys that she couldn't afford. She charged and charged and charged toys for us. Soon after, it was clear she had control over custody of us children. Lots of weird behavior started. Well, a lot weirder than her other weird behavior. Such as my mother walking around the house naked. Or with her nightgown open. Or in an old bra and panties. And even as kids we would ask her not to do this. Because we knew deep down inside it was strange and wrong. I believe many of you can relate to this. As it appears, the mom naked stories are common. And I've made a video covering my experiences regarding her walking around with no clothes on before. Always walking in on me when I'm using the restroom. Or taking a shower. Or changing my clothes. Again, this seems so common amongst those of us with narcissist mothers. Not saying fathers don't do this. Because I'm fairly certain they do. However, as I've stated before, narcissists, at least most of them, are self-preserving. And they will do all the dirt they can that won't get them in trouble. And they will go after low-hanging fruit. And I believe, in all honesty, the reason why we hear so many of these stories where narcissist women do this, and less stories about men, isn't because there's an imbalance between offenders. Because narcissism affects men and women the same. It's just women narcissists know they can get away with it. And make up an excuse that will be believed by others. To cover their tracks. That being said, I'm sure there are male narcissists with impulse control problems doing the same things. But back on topic. There was all of this invasive behavior and strange behavior by my mother, as I covered before in my video entitled "Mother Exposes Naked Body to Her Children." And I will put the link in the description box below. But one thing I didn't mention in this video. And that's why they are doing such things. Well, one might say, they are doing these things because they are just sick narcissists. Well, it goes much deeper than that. I believe they are doing what they are doing because they are priming their children victims for a possible incest-all relationship. No matter it be physical, emotional, or both. And like I mentioned before, they are self-preserving. So they want to see who's going to be the loudest to object to such things. And who is the one that will be more likely to tell a neighbor, a friend, someone at school, and so on. Again, I'm fairly certain both men and women offend at the same rate. But there are differences in how they go about things, I'm sure. And this is the reason why these mother narcissist stories are so common. Because these things they do to test the waters are a lot more difficult for a man to explain. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Because I'm sure it does. But you can see why this style of narcissism, or narcissistic abuse, suits mothers. Because they can explain it away. As, oh, my nightgown accidentally opened up. Or I don't know where James is getting this from because I would never do such a thing. And because she is a quote-unquote mother. By default she's automatically believed. Thus the same common story amongst many of us. But plain and simply this is priming and testing. Then during all of this, they will start telling you things at an early age that no young child should hear. They will talk about real stories or big fat lies about them being raped. This is again done to remove any boundaries that may exist. And use you as an emotional dumping ground all at the age of 7, 8, 9, or 10 years old. I remember one time on television they were talking about gum or mouth cancer. And my mother turned to me and said, "You know you can get mouth cancer by going down on a woman. You know what going down is, don't you, James? It's oral sex." And she would make sure she emphasized the word sex when she said it. My mom would say very strange and inappropriate things to us children in private but would never dream about doing this in public. This went on and on. Even as an adult. If I went to the restroom, she would try to walk in. Or she would say something that I would have to tell her. I don't want to hear that. But with my golden child brother, things were and I believe are a different story. Let's put it this way. Is there a chance there was a physical incest tree-all relationship with my brother and mother? Yes. Can I prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt? No. Were there things that I notice and seen with my own two eyes that would give anyone the right to pause and say, "What the heck did I just see?" Yes. Again, is it proof a physical incest tree-all relationship took place between them? No. That being said, there's no way my adult golden child brother would ever admit such a thing. But do they have an obvious emotional incest tree-all relationship? Yes. They do. To the point where many that know them state they seem more like a dysfunctional husband and wife couple than son and mother. But again, I believe all of this childhood crap they do to us is priming and testing the waters to see what we will do. And it was pretty clear to my mother. I was smart. And knew there was something wrong with her. And there was something wrong with the way we lived. And she knew brainwashing me would be hard. She would try to gaslight me. And I would always say, "No, that's not right. This is what really happened." I would get into arguments with my mother about such things when I was little. So she knew right away that I would question everything. Which again was one of the reasons why I believe I was chosen to be the scapegoat. And it's this quality in me that she knew would make me be a bad choice for this type of incest tree-all relationship I believe she was and many narcissist mothers are after. She would try to dump on me emotionally from time to time. And would say crazy things. But nothing ever physical took place. But I believe if I showed the signs my brother showed, she might have tried. My golden child brother complained some about things she might say. But after time he started to agree with the gaslighting. Because he found being against me as my mother was against me. Along with agreeing with my mother's day-to-day wacky lies. Granted him fake love and attention from my mother. And I believe this was more of the grooming process. And a way for my narcissist mother to get closer to him on a different level. The truth is most narcissists are not only sadist, but they look to have incest with their children. Emotional or physical. This is why you see a golden child living with their narcissist mother up until she's dead. They don't have much of a life. Some might have a little odd job. Others may not work at all. They pretty much are there to serve the needs of their mother. They might argue and fight like a married couple. Sometimes giving the impression they don't get along. But they feed off of each other's misery. Because that's just what narcissists do. But the big question is what happens when no one is around. What other activities are happening? And I'm sorry to say, based on strange things I've seen, my gut tells me, yes. If they think the brainwashing and gaslighting is strong enough with their victim, physical incest happens. And I think it happens a lot. A lot meaning in most narcissistically abusive homes. Homes where there's at least one child to go along with the program. And for some of these narcissists, The program is well thought out and a long road of brainwashing. To make sure the victim's mind is so compartmentalized, they won't even believe themselves this ever happened. So when they are asked if it happened, they will say no. Not just because they don't want to admit it, but because the brainwashing is so strong. They are now convinced it never took place. This is the nature of the abuse the narcissist puts the golden child through. Because in order to be a golden child, you have to accept the gaslighting and believe heart and soul the lies being told are true. So if the narcissist can over and over tell you certain things you did see, that you really didn't see, or things that happened, you were told never happened, and they get you to believe the lies over and over, it's a total mind screw, where the narcissist can now do something like have an incest tree-all relationship with the victim. Then say, it never happened. And the victim will, like with the other light lies, believe it. It's all grooming. And it's all priming to further this sick abuse. Now, do all narcissists do this? To be honest with you, I don't know. But I would suspect some may not because of self-preservation. But I believe most narcissist parents try this with their children. Whether they go all the way depends on how well the gaslighting goes. And if they feel safe, they can get away with it. This is why we need a 50-50 law really bad. Because oftentimes it's very hard, if not impossible, for most courts to tell who's the narcissist and who's not. And quite frankly, they don't care about that kind of thing. They follow their cookie-cutter system. And oftentimes the good parent loses their relationship with the children. And the children get stuck with a disordered parent, only to have their lives ruined. But with a 50-50 law, where every parent shares equal responsibility regarding time and money for a child, I believe more times than not the narcissist will show who they are, by not holding up their end of their responsibilities, thus making it easier for the children to end up with the correct parent. I was lucky no physical incest took place with me, except my mother walking around naked and walking into the restroom when I'm trying to use it, and things of that nature. I'm so lucky no sexual abuse took place because, as I've mentioned in previous videos, my mother would often leave me with people or in situations I look back now where things could have ended up bad for me. And narcissists' parents do put their children in such situations for them to be abused by strangers or others so they can feed off of that situation for supply. Because supply to a narcissist is supply. They don't care how they get it, just as long as they get it. So I'm blessed nothing happened. Again, I believed nothing happened, because I showed myself to be smart and mentally older than my age, and someone that would talk. And I believe that's what saved me, along with the Most High being in my corner. But regarding my golden child brother and my mother, my gut says it's a strong possibility something happened. And it's sad to even have to say that. But you know, it's another reason why I do what I do. This needs to be talked about for what it is. Laws need to be changed. And public opinion about what narcissism is needs to change. Because many of you lived how I lived. I'm sure of it. And there are many out there that will live like our golden child siblings too. And that's really sad. And the only way this is going to stop is if we keep on talking about it as loud as we can until it's acknowledged for what it is. And victims can get away early. And go no contact. I hope for a day this information is taught in schools so those living under a narcissistic roof will have a way out. The Most High willing. But for now, sharing stories and talking about it is all we have. Because every little bit of information and knowledge helps. Because like I always say, knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we can lead happy and healthy lives. Until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.